So a few weeks ago, we covered Nancy Mace, Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace, one of the more interesting people in Congress, to just to say the least. A very someone that I did not expect to come out with so much actual common sense. She proposed a bill. I don't think it's been brought up for a vote yet, but she proposed a bill that was essentially repealing the changes to the farm bill that was passed in the government funding bill. And that was really good. She came out and she said, she was spitting straight facts. Like, and I was blown away, because this is the person who's like the most bottom of the barrel. Like, normally she's just like a culture warrior. Like, I don't want trans people to use any bathroom. Like, she bullied like a new like trans congressperson, and it was like, they're not going to be allowed to use bathrooms at Capitol Hill. And then she was like fighting with Jerry Connolly, rest in piss, on the like House Oversight Committee, and she was like just saying like slurs like tranny. It was crazy girl, crazy, and just kind of a generally evil person. But that was probably I'm still just speechless when I think about the bill and what she said about it in this whole situation and how much sense she just made. And then you look at anything else she does. Okay. This is a long article, so I'm not going to, and there's some actual facts and statistics I'd like to look at as well. This is a long article. I don't need to ramble anymore. Let's go ahead and get into it. So now we have a bill that is being proposed in the Senate. This is from Marijuana Moment. Hemp products would be federally regulated instead of banned under new Senate bill. The legislation, shared exclusively with Marijuana Moment ahead of its introduction on Wednesday, is being sponsored by Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley, both Democrats from Oregon. Oregon's a big hemp state, so not surprising. It comes at a critical time for the industry, which is facing significant upheaval after President Donald Trump signed a spending bill last month that included provisions to widely recriminalize consumable cannabinoid products. The senator's proposal would set THC limits on hemp products for states that do not enact their own caps, allowing up to 5 milligrams per serving. I mean, that's not a ton, but that's like better than literally nothing. Like that's fine. In a maximum of 50 milligrams per container. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's better than banned. This is like, I would say like actually regulated, as opposed to like saying like, oh, you can only have like 0.0005 milligrams. It's like, this is more reasonable. But, so the beverages are a little different. Hemp drinks could have up to 10 milligrams of THC per container under the federal standard. I think that's completely reasonable. I don't think I've actually, surprisingly, I've tried so many things. Like, I've tried every synthetic thing available, THCP, Delta 8, 9-0, just, there's so many. There's so many. I just gotta try them all. But I don't think I've like just had a hemp drink, and obviously I think they're mainly Delta 8, or are they actually like normal Delta 9. I'm not sure. I never get them, but I feel like they're normally not that high anyways. I don't even think they're really in 10 milligrams. I don't think that's even common. I think they're like around like 4 or 5, right? I don't know, but 10 milligrams for a drink, that's completely fine by me. It's pretty generous compared to what they could do. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, would also be empowered to ensure that certain safety standards are met in the marketplace, including making sure that products aren't marketed to children. Whatever, that's just a part of like anything now, whether it's fucking, weed or nicotine. There's no question that more needs to be done to protect kids and consumers from unsafe, untested hemp products, Wyden told Marijuana Moment. So yeah, just, you know how you fix that? Very simply, forget this whole bill. Just age gate it, label it properly, and require testing in public reports. Boom, we're done. We're done. You see how easy that is? You can have your messaging campaigns too. Like, at the end of the day, if you've age gated, and ensure proper testing, if kids are still getting their hands on this, then I'm sorry. It's failed parenting. Like, sorry. I don't like, this is one of those things where like when you have the government try to do the parenting part, like they just ruin the fun for everyone. Like when they fucking like banning like fruit flavored nicotine vapes or whatever. We learned from the failed war on drugs that a one-size-fits-all approach that bans hemp products from the market outright does nothing to protect kids and consumers and will be a gut punch to thousands of jobs in small businesses across the country. My legislation takes the thoughtful and measured approach necessary to implement strong consumer protection regulations while fostering growth and innovation in this growing industry. Merkley said that a blanket ban on hemp harms research in the entire industry. Instead, the FDA must establish clear, common sense guidelines as it does for other foods, drinks, and products to protect the health of all Americans and prevent children in purchasing these hemp products. Businesses selling hemp cannabinoid items meant for human consumption would need to register with the FDA and comply with the agency's safety regulations. See, that's fine with me. Like that's completely fine. I'm fine with this being regulated in the sense of making sure there's not harmful like carcinogens, carcinogens in it, and all that. Like that is 100% fine, because not that many people die to begin with from like synthetic weed that's been laced with something, but reasonable like testing and such would just prevent any of that in the first place, because like you can't die like from straight up THC ingestion no matter how synthetically potent it is. Like that's never happened and won't happen. You can't consume enough THC itself to die. All right, it's just not a thing. Let's see. Such products could not be sold to people under 21, and they would need to adhere to federal labeling requirements. I mean, 21's fine. That's pretty much a standard now. It's crazy. I think it should be 18 because, like, I just not to go to like the boomer or millennial, whatever fucking generation makes this argument, but like, if you're old enough to serve your country, you should be old enough to get a beer or get a cigarette or buy some weed. Like, come on, let's be serious here. The measure would additionally create a $125 million cannabis use prevention grant program under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services with the intent of preventing underage consumption of intoxicating cannabinoids. Yeah, whatever, you can have that. Just yeah, it's so silly, man. As part of the labeling requirement proposed under the measure, all products would need to feature an intentionally recognized symbol and statement identifying them as containing cannabinoids. States could use different symbols for intoxicating versus non-intoxicating items. That's completely fine with me. FDA would be required to promulgate rules on the remote sale, marketing, and distribution of hemp cannabinoids to prevent youth use within 18 months of the measure's enactment. Within 9 months, the agency would need to establish good manufacturing processes for such products. In general, FDA would have the authority to enact additional regulations on the sale and production of hemp cannabinoids if they serve public interest. Vapes containing cannabinoids could not have natural or artificial flavors. That's annoying. And they could contain no more than 6% terps. I'm honestly not sure how much like a vape has in terps. I guess I've never really looked. I just normally look like, is it sativa? All right, give me it. Let me know if someone knows, like, if that's reasonable or not. Wyden's measure also adds a definition for what constitutes total THC content, a measurement that determines whether a product is considered federally legal, hemp, or illegal marijuana. It didn't really go into details that. I think it just kind of, like, it already described what was going on. Anyways, the legislation also provides for mandatory recalls of any hemp cannabinoid products FDA determines to be unsafe. I mean, good luck with that, but sure, more power to you. On top of the regulatory provisions, the Cannabinoid Safety and Regulation Act further calls for a series of agency directives and appropriations and grant initiatives to support relevant public health objectives. That includes $200 million in annual. Okay, this is just dumb shit. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's just, more power to you. If that gets me legal hemp, then you do your research and your little fucking program saying weed is bad. Just let me have it and you can say how bad it is all you want. All right, compromise. Under the new measure, testing facilities would need to be approved at the state level and registered with either DEA, FDA, or USDA. The previous bill stipulated that testing facilities could have either state or federal approval. That's fine. We're deeply grateful to Senators Wyden and Merkley for their continued leadership on behalf of the hemp farmers, consumers, and businesses. Jonathan Miller, General Counsel at the U.S. Hemp Roundtable, told Marijuana Moment on Wednesday. Introduction of their bill is a key first step to developing consensus around a robust regulatory framework that can replace the impending ban. He said, "We are hopeful that Congress will extend the ban moratorium for at least another year to provide adequate time to consider, improve upon, and resolve efforts such as Wyden and Merkley." Like, is that a year? Like, because like it's already a year from now-ish that it's going to be implemented. Would that mean like another year after? I mean, you keep kicking the can down the road. That's fine with me for all of this. And I have to give an honor mention to Rand Paul. Paul, meanwhile, said that last month that he'll soon file a bill to protect the hemp industry from the impending hemp ban. And he also called out alcohol and marijuana interests for allegedly joining forces to lobby in favor of the prohibitionist policy change, which will restrict access to the plant and its derivatives that are often used therapeutically. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. And just because of Rand Paul and his background, I'm going to go on a wild guess. His bill is going to be so much better than Wyden's. It's going to, and Wyden and Merkley, like what we just read, whatever Paul puts forward is going to be so much better. You can take that to the bank. All right. Like 100%. Because Nancy Mace's was better than that. Here's the full bill. We're not going to go over it. It's 84 pages. So the only question I had, was I'm not sure what's going to be going on with the weight, because the main part of the dry weight and the percentage, like the 0.3% THC, like Delta 9, that was like a part of the loophole, because hemp, weed, marijuana, whatever you want to label it legally, is like very high in THCA, of course, if you're going for that. And that's just normal weed. Like, normal weed isn't high in pure THC. It's high in THCA, which turns into THC after you combust it, heat it to a certain temperature. So I'm not sure where that stands, but at least from the edible and drink side, it's pretty clear. But hey, we'll just have to wait and see where this all goes. Now, I want to see, it's so hard to find, like, how many people died from weed? Like, I kept doing all these Google searches. I can't find shit. It's like 0, or, there was like 100, but like, it was actually like when we went into it is from like something that was like in the cart. And it's like, yeah, this is why you just regulate it and require testing, not ban it. Here's just an AI overview. During 2010 to 2015, U.S. medical toxicologies recorded 3 deaths among 456 intoxication cases. 1 involved synthetic cannabinoids as the sole agent. So, congratulations. You have like a 1 to 3. A study in Florida from 2014 to 2020 reported 258 deaths where synthetic cannabinoids were listed as a cause of death. If you read more into that one, it's like not like it wasn't the synthetic cannabinoids. It was like shit that they put into, like they cut it with or put into the cart. And again, just require testing. Illinois, Wisconsin outbreak 2018, an outbreak of synthetic cannabinoid contaminated with Brodifacoum rat poison, which caused severe bleeding. That's crazy. Like, again, testing, and like this stuff is going to be a lot more common when you ban things, because when you ban at least somewhat reputable vendors from selling things, and you just have to rely on like some shady guy on the fucking corner. Like, this is how this shit happens. Like, this is how you increase deaths. Philadelphia 2018, over 1 weekend in July 2018, 10 people died from a combination of heroin, fentanyl, and synthetic cannabinoid. Like, all right. So all of these put together over the course of 10 years about, you have less than 1,000 deaths. Yes, every death is terrible. But hold on. I'm going to blow your mind for a second. This is an AI. This is straight from the CDC.gov. Facts about U.S. deaths from excessive alcohol use. Excessive alcohol use is, and I covered this in another video, but I'm going to cover it again because it's just so important. When you read the numbers here that aren't even certain, like it's not even proven, or like, because like you can read into these reports, it's like, it was probably the fucking like vitamin E acetate or whatever. Like we're talking in the hundreds, even if everyone was, yes, too much THC intoxication or whatever. All right. We were talking less than 1,000 over 10 years. Here's what we have about excessive alcohol use. About 178,000 people die from excessive drinking each year. All right. Like, what more do I need to say? What more do you even say? 178,000 people die from excessive drinking every year in the United States. And you're over here fear-mongering, requiring all this legislation and regulation and just hundreds of millions in ad campaigns and awareness campaigns, when your totals, which again aren't certain when you actually dig into each case by case, it's kind of like just blanketed, is less than 1,000 over a decade, or in a decade time period. In a decade time period, less than 1,000. When you have almost 200,000 people that die every single year. That's even with alcohol use in general on the decline. And we still have almost 200,000 people dying every year. And there's no conversation about banning alcohol. Obviously, there shouldn't be. I mean, we tried it before. It didn't work very well. I wish weed kind of had that same kind of prohibitionist energy. But anyways, that's all I have. As always, I will do my best to give any other updates that I find. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.